guess what? We're back.
At least
I don't know where we are, but we're back.
That's right.
All right, so where did we leave off? We were talking...
I think let's finish up about Mask of the Phantasm.
That's what it was.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but I highly recommend it. It's like an hour and 15 minutes long. It's not even a long movie. Even you could sit through it. Yes, I'm talking to you.
Well, I'm not well versed in anything.
They make really good animated movies. That's one thing.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. They like Marvel's definitely done better with the live action. But when it comes to comics, most of them, majority, not all, and like animated stuff, it's all DC for that. Although the Spider-Man animated series, most of those have been really good.
Now, when we're talking Spider-Man, which are we talking? Are we talking
all of them?
Because the ones I remember, was it Spider-Man and Friends?
Oh, and His Amazing Friends, yeah.
That one.
Yeah, that was, I mean, it's, you know, for what is it? Was it a 60s, 70s animated series? I mean, it's still really good. And they had rights to all the characters so they could, you know,
way back when.
Show them all.
Yeah.
Way back when.
Yes, way back when. And, because I mean, you know, the original 60s animated series, I mean, cheesy, sure. Of course, so was the live action Spider-Man series. But, the Japanese one was even worse. Still so much fun to watch, though.
So, without diving too much into that just yet.
Yeah, keep me focused.
What pre-1989 stuff have you seen? Or read?
Who are we talking to?
Not you.
No, that's fair. I'll be over here if you need me.
Goodness.
Sorry, I just want to make sure that I have the question right.
So, pre-MCU and pre-DCEU, you know, before Keaton as Batman, have you seen?
Wasn't EU.
Well, you know, I'm just making it up as I go. It's on the fly. Have you seen anything prior to the Keaton Batman films and Christopher Reeve's Superman films?
I've only seen bits and pieces of the 60s Batman show. But I grew up, I can't remember how old I was, but I grew up with the 89 Batman, and that one is still my favorite. And that Joker, too.
Yes. Yeah, I should have worn that shirt.
And then that's where you jump in because you have a bunch of these movies that have not been released.
Well, as far as like the Marvel goes, before MCU, yeah, I mean, honestly, before Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy, I mean, you had an unreleased Fantastic Four movie, which was made just so they could keep the rights. Never intended to release it. The thing is, the crew and the actors had no idea until that. They had no idea it was going to be not going to be released. And the only way you can actually get it is, you know, like a bootleg copy of it. And oh my God, it's so bad. It's so bad. Like the costumes are so accurate. It's the best costumes as far as Doctor Doom and the Fantastic Four, but the movie itself is so bad. I mean, I still highly recommend watching it just because not a whole lot of people have. But I mean, you got like, you know, Dolph Lundgren Punisher, which was horrible. Howard the Duck, which was also horrible, but I love it still. And its cheesiness plus, you know, Leah Thompson, so can't go wrong with that. I mean, you know, like the Japanese went into and had a Spider-Man series called Spider-Man, and it was actually like, you know, they had like the Super Sentai stuff, which is what our Power Rangers here have been based on.
I'm sorry, that kills me every time.
Which one?
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man.
Spider-Man, whatever.
Sorry,
yeah, like...
I mumble. But yeah, I mean, it's I've mentioned this on one of the podcasts we did. It was just the audio only for it. There's a clip on YouTube if you type it in, and it's him when he first activates the little wrist gauntlet that has his costume. He controls his giant mech, which was actually the first thing to do that. Super Sentai started doing that afterwards. What? I'm a geek. I know this.
I looked it up, and it's funny.
Because they got it to where it's like it lifts up on a wire in front of him, and then you see him like arm going in, and then you actually see like the zipper go up on the back, and it's like all of a sudden he's in his Spider-Man, does the Spider-Man pose. So it's on YouTube,
like as his dress up montage or something.
Basically, yeah.
You.
Highly recommend looking it up. It is well worth it. But of course, they changed his origin, where it was alien from Planet Spider comes down, which is a spider, and bites the main character, gives him this control gauntlet that allows him to, control the Marveler, which goes into Leopardon, his giant mech, where he fights giant monsters, because it's a Japanese show. And that's awesome.
Okay.
Sounds so Japanese.
Oh, it 100%. I mean, it out Japanesed itself to what they've done before then. Because we got actually Kamen Rider might have been 70s, but Super Sentai, they all the colorful costumes, stuff like that. But of course now we know it now with, like I said, with Power Rangers and the giant mechs fighting and stuff. And Spider-Man was, I think, the first Japanese series to do that. And after that, it just got huge, and they started using it in all their series.
Sorry, I was noticing the cable stuck to my arm.
No, fair enough.
What was that last part?
He's having cable issues.
Probably. But diving into what we know now with Comic-Con, and I know Nikki's cosplayer. You've been to Comic-Cons. I don't know.
Been to a couple of them.
I don't know if you count,
our local
Disney
ones?
princesses as cosplay.
Sure, I don't see why not. Yeah, I mean, that's.
Is that something we can talk about?
I guess. Honestly, dressing up as any character you love, I guess, would be considered.
It was for your nieces and nephews, so you get a pass.
Wait. Oh, we're talking about my Halloween costume?
Yeah.
That's different. That was for Halloween. Me and my family, we did Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. And they all decided which dwarves they were going to be, which left only one character, and that was Snow White. So that's who I was. So that wasn't cosplay. That was for Halloween.
Well, who decided you'd be Snow White?
Essentially, we ran out of dwarves, so I did, I guess. I mean, I had the beard, the wig. I mean, because there's not, much going on up top, so.
I got that problem.
Yeah.
My hair wasn't receding, it was running away.
Mm-hmm. And mine's got the Moses syndrome.
I just had to bring that into the conversation because...
Sounds like a lot of fun.
But yeah, it was. But I wouldn't consider that cosplay because I wore that for Halloween.
But let's dive into that a little bit.
Okay.
And then we'll get into the modern stuff, from, 08 forward?
Sure.
So what Comic-Cons have you done? Or not done, into, excuse me.
I've been to some of the smaller ones locally. We have Big Lick and of the such. I've been to GalaxyCon once, although I'm going again this July, mainly because Kevin Smith's going to be there, and I'm very much excited to meet him.
Ooh.
And the first big one I went to was in Nashville, probably 5, 6, 7 years ago. I don't know. Stan Lee was there. I got to meet him, which was awesome. This was about a year or two before he passed.
And which one was that?
That was Wizard World.
I've heard that one a few times.
I'm not sure Wizard World exists anymore. I think name got changed to something else, but I can't remember to what. But no, it was just going to the con for the first time was awesome. And I was surprised myself and my friends because that's one of those I don't do well in person talking to people, outside of work. I got a work personality. But I showed up to the con and just, no anxiety whatsoever because I'm surrounded by my people. And it just felt extremely comfortable, except when, meeting some of the celebrities I grew up with, like, Kevin Conroy, as far as going back to Batman animated series, I clammed up. I could not say a thing.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, I mean, I've only been to a few, mainly because I'm usually always working.
So I know we talked about a few of the things that you've done, but he hasn't seen the episode because it hasn't gone live yet.
I mean, I commend you for going alone though. Like going to conventions in general can be so overstimulating. There's so much going on and so much to do and see, and it's a different experience going by yourself too.
For Nashville, yeah, there's no way I could have gone by myself. I was there with friends. Now, some of the smaller ones I've gone to for like the day, but even then, being at hometown kind of thing, still a whole lot going on, even for a smaller venue.
Yeah, it's hard.
Mm-hmm.
But because he hasn't seen the episode yet, could we revisit some of the stuff that you've done as far as Comic-Cons and cosplays? Because he hasn't seen that episode just yet.
Yeah, I'm from New York, so that convention was the first one that I really went to. So I kind of did the opposite there, where like my first one was a really big one, and then I started branching out and going to other conventions, and there'd be different sizes and stuff for like smaller ones. And I also work as a makeup artist, so in promoting my work for certain conventions have film festivals. So because of that, traveled a little bit more. Like I went to, I forgot what it's called, but there was one in Florida. And then Dragon Con was another one that we traveled to for the film festival, and that's in Atlanta. That was a lot of fun. And that's my favorite one, I think, so far.
That's I've heard that's a really good one.
There's also the Gen Con in Indiana, which is all about gaming. That was really fun and like different to see and experience going to a con, but specifically for gaming and like trying stuff out and sorry, it's a little bit hard to hear myself. Yeah, I've been I guess I haven't done the big San Diego.
That's one I'd like to go to just to say I've been, but just from what stories I've heard for that, it's like I don't think I'm ready for that.
What stories are we talking about?
I mean, just
sorry, I didn't catch all that.
Just saying that with San Diego, it's one of those, that would be that and New York Comic Con would be two of the bigger, like, as far as like Mecca type Comic Cons to go to, just as far as, when you get a lot of the movie announcements and all that stuff. But like San Diego itself has just gotten so huge, and the stories you hear about so many people there that you're just kind of crammed in, and there's, it's like, yeah, I'm not sure I really want to do that at the moment.
I've kind of been thinking that too. Like, maybe it's gotten too big. And having never been, it from the outside, look, it seems very corporate. Like, I prefer going to conventions where it feels more like it's for the fans.
Yep. No, I agree with that completely. So you got there's GalaxyCon in Raleigh in North Carolina, which I went to for a day last year. I'm going for it the whole time this year, and it has that feel of like and Nashville was the same way. As far as the way everything was set up and the way it was run and all that. That was for us, to meet those we grew up with, for whatever fandom. You got, sci-fi and animated and, comics, all that stuff. And that's kind of how GalaxyCon is. Of course, now you got a lot more anime voice actors showing up. So that's actually one of the bigger, you get more anime voice actors in Raleigh these last couple of years than you may in some of the others.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely. So, something I'd like to try. We've done this once or twice on maybe 2 previous shows.
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to go back and look. I'm not sure. Let's do a top 10.
Okay. Of?
It can be anything superhero related, good, bad, or indifferent. Something you enjoyed, whether it be good, somebody else may not have liked.
We're just talking moments in general.
Let's do like a combination. Do like a top 10 movie, and then within that movie, a moment.
Okay.
And we can just go around. We'll let Nikki start first since she's the guest, and then you, then me, and then
Okay, so
around the table, so to speak.
Not 10 each of us, just 10 in general.
10 each.
Okay.
Because I know you got a lot, and
Sure.
I have maybe a few. So,
Like I should write something down.
so yeah. I mean, if you're up for that.
I'm me.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. There's been the audio's been like in and out a little bit, so
Mm-hmm.
we're naming superhero movies.
Yeah, like
you said it doesn't necessarily have to be good or bad.
Right. Yeah, just like a top 10, and within that moment or within that movie, a moment that kind of stands out.
That may have made it our favorite.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think I might need a minute.
Yeah, no, that's trying to figure that out
The
myself.
first thing it made me think of when you said it didn't have to be good or bad was Dark Phoenix.
Oh, so bad.
Because there's definitely moments and there's cool things that happen, but as a whole.
Well, the thing about the Dark Phoenix was the screenwriter for that was the same screenwriter of X-Men 3. So not only did he screw up 2 X-Men movies, he screwed up the exact same storyline twice.
It's mind-boggling.
It's like, who thought it was a good idea for him to come back and write the script for another Phoenix story? And it's the same ones like who thought it was a good idea for Ghost Rider 2 after the first one, but that's besides the point.
And also, the Phoenix storyline in one movie, it's way too long for that.
Yes. Because you need Phoenix,
Keep trying.
Dark Phoenix. I mean, it needs to be a trilogy of movies.
Yeah. You have to really show what she's like beforehand. And then, like, green, good Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she does the whole heel turn and Dark Phoenix and starts murdering
everyone,
just blowing stuff up.
Mm-hmm.
I can agree.
But that was what came to mind for me, because there's definitely like, if I were to see it on cable or something, I'd be like, okay, I'll turn it on, but I'm not gonna get invested in it.
Nope. First commercial, I'm probably out.
Like I liked what's his name as Beast.
Nicholas Holt.
Oh, sorry, I'm thinking about the original one.
Oh,
Well,
oh,
Grammer,
yeah,
Kelsey
Kelsey
Grammer.
Grammer. Yeah,
So good.
yeah. He was a great Beast. Not a big enough role.
I can get behind
Not
that.
what?
Just not a big enough role.
Yeah, pretty small. But also a lot of makeup.
I can get behind that. So you're
Oh.
up, sir.
I kind of want to keep with the bad theme. Yeah, I'll
Sorry,
go Ghost Rider. I mean, both of them. I mean, the first one was so bad, and they're like, "Oh, you know what? We should do a second one, and then we'll have Nicolas Cage come back because he was amazing." No, I mean, they're kind of like
they tried.
Yeah, I don't think they did. I mean, don't get me wrong. The look of Ghost Rider was decent in the first one, and I really liked it in the second one, but that was not enough. And I love Idris Elba too, and he's, I'll watch him in anything, but I kind of have to draw the line in Ghost Rider too.
Same. I don't even remember what happens in it.
It's like the devil's son, and Ghost Rider's trying to protect him or something. I don't know.
Oh, is it Mephisto?
Yeah. Because I mean, you had him played by, was it Henry Fonda in the first one, and then it's I can't think of his name. He was Steppenwolf in Justice League. I can't think of his name, but yeah, they recast the devil in this one, and yeah, but I think that's what it was. I think it was he's trying to get to his son. Yeah, because I think his body's dying, so he's going to inhabit his son's body to get his power back or something like that. Yeah. Very cats in the cradle type thing going on there. But yeah. So the Ghost Rider's just absolutely, because I mean, I've always enjoyed his character, and they screwed him up not once but twice. And I thought, no, there's no way that it could get worse than the first one. Or I never thought I would consider the first Ghost Rider a good movie, except when comparing it to the second one.
How much worse can this get? Oh, it can get worse.
So much worse. Yeah.
Okay, so keeping with the bad theme, for me, I don't know, and this isn't like traditional superhero, but like the first Kick-Ass movie, I liked it.
Mm-hmm.
The second one, not so much. Again,
it's funny, as those were actually decent adaptations of the source material.
I don't know. I just like the first one better for some reason, and I love the fact that Nicolas Cage played a really bad superhero in that, but it actually worked.
Yeah.
What was his name? Bad Daddy?
Mm-hmm. Big Daddy.
That's what it was, yeah.
Oh, Kick-Ass?
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it was horrible, the second one. It was just...
Yeah, it wasn't as good as the first. I can agree with that.
It was the same thing.
For sure.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it wasn't the same.
Mm.
So that's one for me, and I know that's not like Marvel, DC, or
that don't matter.
No, but still a superhero movie.
Yeah,
very true.
Exactly.
Very true. So,
yeah,
I guess you're up.
Wait, I'm up. You said? Okay, another one. I haven't even seen it, so I don't know if I should mention it. But like Blade 3.
Oh, Blade Trinity?
Yeah, with Ryan Reynolds and Jessica Biel.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't even give it a chance. So I don't know if it counts, but I've heard a lot of bad things about it.
I will say, the only redeeming quality for that was the fact that Ryan Reynolds was there. And it had his sarcastic, witty comedy.
Mm-hmm.
That was it.
It's funny though, is honestly I don't think it fit. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love Ryan Reynolds. I think it was out of place for the movie.
And yeah. But
Was it like his Deadpool character?
Basically, yeah. I mean, the constant sarcasm and jokes and all that, which are hilarious and work for most movies, but yeah, I don't think it worked too well in this one, in my personal opinion. Plus, how do you follow up on Blade 2, which was amazing?
no.
Oh man, because it comes up on like those movie trivia things
Mm-hmm.
where like Wesley Snipes didn't want to open his eyes and all this stuff for that scene.
Oh, yeah.
It just looks so bad. It's so hilarious.
Oh man, there's so many behind the scenes stories. Like another YouTube video is look up, YouTube Patton Oswalt talking about it. It's absolutely ridiculous. Yeah. Because he was in it too, so he was right there for it.
What?
But, no, yeah. Yep.
He's funny dude.
Yes. Yeah. So I'd YouTube that interview. I can't remember who it's with. It's one of the late night talk show hosts talking about his time on Blade Trinity. Yeah. You could hear all kinds of stuff. Wesley Snipes would only answer to Blade, would only communicate with the director through post-it notes. I mean, it's ridiculous.
Wow.
Oh, I bet because of the Ryan Reynolds thing, the one that I have seen was that first Wolverine.
Oh,
It's very, very guilty pleasure.
that's fair. I mean, I'm not going to. I mean, that's what they're called guilty pleasures for. Is for that reason. Yeah. But yeah, no, absolutely horrible. And honestly, I think the Ghost Rider movies are kind of guilty pleasures for me because I really just love watching them and just like bashing them as I watch them, and I always find something new every time to watch just to make fun of.
I mean, it's Nicolas Cage.
It's true.
I mean, I don't know, just like the idea of the penance there is so cool.
Mm-hmm. It's like that wasn't even his Ghost Rider. That was Danny Ketch's. That was the second Ghost Rider's. I guess technically third, but that's neither here nor there. Second that Marvel owned.
Interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I guess that's how
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I had no clue either.
Yeah, the first Ghost Rider was, I think, from like 50s, 60s kind of thing. And he was dressed all in white, kind of like Moon Knight in a way, but a cowboy. So, I mean, oh my God, I can't think of his name.
Are we talking about the guy who played him?
Well, in the first Ghost Rider movie, yeah.
Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott, thank you. Yeah, so he was kind of supposed to be that character. But I think it was before Marvel owned it. I could be wrong on that. But it wasn't like devil based or anything. He was just, I think, kind of just masked. I don't know if he was a lawman or whatever, but yeah, I mean, it was Wild West. He kind of had a Moon Knight type costume, except with the cowboy hat. And all that, yeah.
And a horse?
Yep. But no, like I said, there's no devil powers or anything like that. No flaming skull or anything. I don't think it had anything to do with that. But they took, that's just the original. So, but I can't remember if Marvel owned it. So that's why I say technically Danny Ketch was the third one.
Interesting.
Technically.
Okay, so.
Yeah, as it goes, there's sometimes like evolution or where the times change, and so you change the characters along with it.
Yep.
Definitely. Is it me?
Actually, I think it's me.
Is it you?
I think.
I'm lost.
Trying to think.
I stay that way, though.
Do I go good or do I go bad? There's so much of both.
Yeah.
And if I go bad, do I go with what majority of people could have seen, or do I go with?
I don't think it matters, but just to spice it up a little bit.
I'll just go Fantastic Four movies in general. Because the unreleased, horrible. Still so much fun to watch. Highly recommend if you could get a chance to. Absolutely do it. And watch the documentary called Doomed, which was about the making of it, which is an official release. Absolutely amazing.
Oh, I didn't know there was one.
Yes. Yeah. And I want to say it at one point was on Amazon Prime.
It's possible.
I think. But yeah, no, that I highly recommend watching. It is phenomenal. And then you got the first one that was officially released. It was okay. And you had Rise of the Silver Surfer, and I love Lawrence Fishburne, but he was not right for the Silver Surfer voice at all.
Oh, was that who it was?
Yeah. Morpheus himself.
Oh. Cool.
And
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
It was kind of awkward.
Yes. And then, of course, the most recent one that came out, I like how they were going for the ultimate Fantastic Four comic-based stories. And again, Michael B. Jordan's another one of those that I'll watch pretty much anything in, but this kind of draws a line for that as well. Because I'm still waiting for Creed 3, personally.
I can get behind
I'm giving that one a chance.
If you haven't seen it, watch it. But don't expect much. It's not great. I would say it's better than Rise of the Silver Surfer, but it's not really saying much.
Okay.
Interesting.
Man, at the time, I didn't realize how cheesy they were. And then, like, a few years ago, I saw that scene where they're in the dance, like the nightclub, and Reed uses his powers to stretch and, like, grab a bunch of girls.
So bad.
Yeah.
I forgot about that scene. I think I blocked it out, but it's there now.
Yeah.
Actually, it's been a while since I've watched those. Oh, it's so bad. Like the first one they tried, and it was a decent movie, not great, but decent. But the second one, I don't know what they were thinking of when they were making it. Oh, I just thought about Galactus'
I don't remember too much of that one either.
Wait, Galactus was in?
I just remember Silver Surfer being, like, really stiff.
Yeah. Well, and it's funny is because there was Doug Jones who was the bodywork for Silver Surfer.
What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And honestly, his voice would have been perfect for Silver Surfer. Because,
what happened there?
They wanted a big name actor. Yeah.
I bet they regret that now.
Honestly, they made enough money on it. They probably don't care.
That's true too. Like, oh, we made it. We're done.
Yeah. Someone else's problem now.
Yeah. Okay.
You're up.
So I'm going to go good, and I'm going to go pretty recent. And I don't know. How long has it been out now?
Which one?
The new Doctor Strange.
It was okay.
No. How long has it been out?
2 or 3 months?
So I'm going to say it was good overall. I liked it. It's not traditional like you would think it would be, but it was a Sam Raimi movie. With that being said, the big moment for
Hang
me...
on 1 second. You have seen Doctor Strange 2, right?
Good point.
Oh, I didn't realize what we were talking about because the audio cut out, but now I do. And yes.
Okay, all right. He was about to say something. I just wanted to make sure before he said it that you had seen it.
Thank you.
Yeah. The moment for me in that, the big moment was the big reveal.
I know Bruce Campbell, absolutely. Yeah. It was great seeing him.
Nope. John Krasinski as Mr. Fantastic. Because that was a rumor that was going around online everywhere.
Well, he's been a fan favorite to play him for years, and he would be amazing and proved that he would, can do it. But I mean, his and Bruce great. Campbell's part were there. I don't know. The movie was okay. I didn't love it. I love Sam Raimi, but I didn't love this movie. It was okay.
So
I love the music fight.
That was that was cool. I really enjoyed that.
It had a lot of really good moments. That's just the one that stands out to me.
I also really like when she comes out of the gong. I'm like, oh, we're going horror. Okay. So creepy.
Oh, it definitely had a Sam Raimi feel.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's 2 for me, right? Yeah.
Sure.
If I'm counting right. I might need to go back to elementary school for that one. All right.
Sorry, what was that?
Oh, so we've done 2 each, right?
Yeah, I don't think 10 would for each.
Let's go 5.
Yeah, okay.
Let's go 5. I was a little overzealous.
I mean, there's so many good moments in Multiverse of Madness. I could just go on and on. So I'm trying to hold myself back.
No, I mean it's fine. We can talk about it for as long as we need to. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, absolutely.
Even in that, I'm trying to think of my top moments. Definitely the music fight.
Mm-hmm.
I liked also the end credit with Bruce Campbell.
Yes.
And that callback to him punching himself.
Yeah.
Yeah, just anything Bruce Campbell does, honestly.
What a guy.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Okay.
Gotta watch the Evil Dead movies, man.
All right.
One of these days, you'll take my advice when it comes to movies. He won't.
I also haven't seen it.
You haven't seen Evil Dead movies?
Not because I don't want to. There's just a lot of things that I haven't seen.
That's fair. I can appreciate that.
It just worked out that way. But I want to. It looks like also a good mix of cheese and horror.
Yes. Well, it's like the first one when they made it was, small budget. They were all friends, and it was just making a horror movie. And then the second one, they had a little bit bigger budget, and they kind of changed the story a little bit from the first one. And I mean, it's essentially the same thing, and they just kind of expanded on it in a different way and kind of started going into horror comedy. And then Army of Darkness is just full on horror comedy and is absolutely amazing. Watch the director's cut when you finally do get around to watching it.
Okay.
Yeah. It's got the better ending.
Look out for that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Is this still my turn?
I think so.
Okay, since maybe this whole turn can be good ones.
Mm-hmm.
I really, really love Days of Future Past. Days of Future Past.
Yes.
And it was really cool about how they mixed the 2 casts and bounced back and forth. I mean, and it's obviously a lot different than the comics or even the cartoons version.
Right.
But it was still like really emotional. The first 5 minutes like still kind of get me, like the opening where the Sentinels are just killing
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I would say like of the X-Men, the different franchises they've done for it, like X-Men 2 is the best of the original, and I think Days of Future Past is the best of like the newer cast.
That's also my, I think so too. Those are my two favorites of the two different casts.
Mhm.
First cast was really good too.
It was, yes, but then they upped it with Days of Future Past.
Yeah.
I can get behind on that. I like Days of Future Past a lot, actually.
I'm gonna have to go back and rewatch it now. It's been a while.
I mean, it was a really good movie.
Yeah, I just remembered that weird kitty thing they did. How like they gave her the the like transferring powers or something.
Mhm.
That was how she transferred Wolverine's consciousness.
Yeah, well, it was like she had like built up her phasing abilities to like I can't remember. I mean, you don't want to argue with like comic book logic because it doesn't have to make sense.
Yeah.
But there's something about her being able to phase through things, and then she learned how to phase through time, and I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, which I think is kind of what happened in the comic, if I'm not mistaken, because I think it was her that did go back.
It's been so long.
Yep. No, it's been too long since I've read it. I can't remember. I was trying to think back on it, but I can't remember.
I can't remember too. I want to say like was Rachel Summers in it? I don't know.
I
It
don't know.
was way different
They
though
had
in the
so many.
comics than
Yeah,
the
you had.
movies.
Yeah, I can't remember either. I need to find my copy of it. It's in my collection somewhere.
Man, that cover is so iconic.
Yeah, it's been used for a lot of things. I think I got a Rick and Morty shirt that's a mashup of Rick and Morty and Days of Future Past cover.
That's cool.
Yeah. I've really got to find that comic now. It's been way too long since I've read it. Then I'll watch the movie.
That's good.
Oh yeah, I totally forgot to mention before, but when you had asked how we started getting into comics, it was because it was because the first X-Men movie was coming out. And although I'd watched those shows growing up, my uncle was like, "No, read the actual comics." So four of my mom's brothers collected a bunch of comics, and so I was lucky that they let me rifle through their things and read.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, if it hadn't been for my dad's collection, which wasn't huge, but I mean, it was enough to keep me occupied as a kid. I'm not sure. I'm sure I would have gotten into them, but it may not have been as much.
Yeah, it can be hard because like it adds up so quickly, and some are like bi-weekly, some are monthly.
Yeah, I was doing really good there for a while, keeping up with my weekly issues, and then 1 week goes by and 2 weeks goes by. Next thing I know, it's like a month and a half. I'm like, oh no, I got to go get my comics. And then I'm spending a couple $100 to catch up.
Oh.
Yikes.
Well, most of what I get, a lot of times, I'll get a few, like Flash, Amazing Spider-Man, and the two Power Ranger series, and a few other things here and there. But then I get a lot of the miniseries type things, the Batman 89, stuff like that. So those end, but at the same time, it's like if I don't go and get them for a month or every 2 months or whatnot, I've got a huge stack Which reminds me, I got to buy bags and boards. I don't have enough. I really need to write that down.
Don't forget.
I will.
Okay.
Was it my go?
Let's keep with a good theme.
Good theme.
And I know you're looking at your movies like you're like me, like you're wearing glasses, like
I'm saying,
you can read them.
Why do you, I don't know where everything is in line for those right there. I know exactly what it is. No, I have no idea.
Wowzers.
All right. Well, I'll go Dark Knight. Heath Ledger's Joker. Hands down. And I still say Mark Hamill is probably the best of all time. And I love Jack Nicholson's, but Heath Ledger's just brought something different to the character.
And I mean, it's hard also to compare Mark Hamill as a voice actor to live action too, and they all bring such different but really great things.
Yep.
Now I will give you this, Mark Hamill, because it's just the voice.
Mm-hmm.
He had a more, I won't say menacing, but it was more, it fit the character that he was playing in the show or the movie that it was in. I don't remember exactly.
Yeah, I mean show and movie.
But as far as
shows, plural,
physical, like not real life, but like an actor playing the character in the movie, Heath Ledger was one of the best. And I only say that because it you're right, it brought a different aura to it, and he made it what it should have been, which was a bit darker. And of course the movie itself was darker, but obviously Jack Nicholson is an icon when it comes to that. And I'm not saying he was bad. It was just that movie was a little more comical because of the times, I would imagine.
Well, I mean, as stupid as it sounds saying this about a comic book movie, but it was a little less comic. The Nolan trilogy was a little less comic booky than, say like, I mean, Burton darkened the character, but
not like that.
But yeah, I mean,
yeah, but it's still a little comedy in there,
right? Exactly. Yeah, I mean, you got that dark humor, which I'm always a huge fan of.
Yes, I agree. I agree. So within that movie, though,
the pencil trick, just that entire scene, I mean, the opening scene is amazing, but him, all that, it's like, show you a magic trick, and the guy comes around, it's like, kill this clown, wham! And I was not expecting it. I'm just like, holy shit, this is a different Joker.
Man, that is such a good scene because, I think that's the one where it's like, I can't remember if it was one gang or heads of different gangs.
Yeah, it was like all the crime bosses. They were trying to figure out what to do, with the Batman and GCPD. They're getting the banks with the money and getting closer to catching them, kind of thing. And that's when Joker shows up. It's like, hey, I can kill the Batman, but you got to give me half all your money.
Yeah, and they're totally not taking him seriously. And then as soon as he does that, just changes the.
Yep, that scene right there. Yeah.
All right, so I guess I'm up next. Let's keep with the Nolan theme and the Batman. I'm a little indifferent. I like the first one, but I'm trying to remember which one. There was two, right? Or was there three?
Batman Begins, Dark Knight Rises.
Okay, so I was just trying to remember. It was the third one, so that was The Dark Knight Rises.
Mm-hmm.
I liked that movie a lot.
It was okay.
But the reason I liked it, though, is because they showed that, sure, he's got, I guess like an armored suit, sort of.
Mm-hmm.
But they also showed that as he progressively got older, he was human like everyone else, in the fact that
he was a little more realistic about his knees not holding up and for all the stuff he's done. Sure, yeah.
And the fact that they show that he has humility, so to speak, towards certain parts of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I like the way it was done, and of course, I like Bane.
I do too. I don't know who was in that movie, but I like Bane too. But I don't know who was in that movie.
I know you're just joking right now.
No, that wasn't Bane.
Well, you know what I'm saying. It's not comic book accurate, but I like that iteration. Like it was its own thing. It wasn't something trying to be something. Like the Bane in which one of those with George Clooney was it?
Ugh, we don't know.
You know what I'm talking about?
We don't talk about Batman and Robin.
It wasn't far-fetched the way he looked. I mean,
but it had poison ivy.
And honestly, she was actually probably the best part of that movie. And okay, honestly, that's another guilty pleasure movie of mine. When I do my Batman movie marathon, I watch it. Yeah, and I do my best Arnold impression, follow along with all the ice puns and all that stuff.
What it's time to freeze.
There you go. Yeah.
The part where Batman and Robin are having their piss contest over.
Yeah,
and then what the fuck?
Never leave the cave without it.
Oh my god!
It's like $1 million. Where are you going to get $1 million? I borrowed from you. $2 million. How are you going to pay $2 million? Cha-ching! Like, oh.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think there's a place for stuff that's really cheesy too.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, half of my collection are cheesy or just bad movies. Just something about them. When you need a laugh, especially when it's not supposed to be intentional.
So we kind of jumped the gun on that one. But yeah.
Well, we can all have ones that we agree are absolutely horrible. Batman and Robin's definitely one of them.
But it's weird, like, that movie just all around, just wasn't... I don't know. I just didn't care for it.
The Adam West, the 60s Batman series with Adam West wasn't as campy as Batman and Robin was. And that's saying something.
Yeah. So...
Yeah, I haven't seen too much of the show, so I can't really say, but that does say a lot.
I mean, and it was meant to be a kid's show kind of thing, and I mean, it's one of those. If anything, watch the movie that came out, I think, before the series.
Is that the one with the shark?
Yeah, the shark. Where they're trying to save the ship or submarine or something, and Batman's lowering himself down on the ladder, and goes down, and the sub disappears. It was like a hologram or something like that. And when Robin takes the helicopter back up, he's got this shark attached to his leg. Batman does, and so he goes, "Robin, I need the shark repellent." And he's got this thing where it's like 4 different types of sprays. And Robin grabs the shark repellent, lowers himself down on the ladder, flips backwards, and hands it to him. Batman sprays the shark, and the shark falls up and then explodes because it was also like a robot. It was set as a trap. That's the opening scene of that movie.
Sounds insane.
Oh, it absolutely is. And that's probably one of the least cheesiest parts of the movie.
It just sounds so unnecessarily complicated.
It absolutely is. I highly recommend it. It's so good.
Okay, put that on the list too.
I know it's a whole lot to watch. It's one of those maybe I'll get to it, maybe I won't kind of things.
Wow.
Yeah.
There's a lot out there.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, Batman and Robin was cheesier than that.
All right, so
Dude, it's such a crime.
that's crazy.
Why do so many people okay it?
I don't know. And it's funny, it's because Joel Schumacher directed it. And it's like, it's so bad. And he directed Lost Boys, which is so good.
Oh.
And then he makes this crap.
I guess the moral of that story is everybody has a bad day.
Well, and that goes to Nicolas Cage, too. Because, I mean, like, the 80s movies of his are amazing.
The 90s were even better.
They were, you had, like, I think his last good movie up to he started doing some indie stuff was, like, National Treasure. And then after that, it just went downhill with everything. And then he's got some indie, like, Mandy and Wiley's Wonderland, stuff like that, which
Joe
are surprisingly decent.
I
also like The Color Purple.
Yeah, that was good.
I haven't seen Mandy, though, but I heard lots of good things.
Yeah.
I will say,
it's worth a watch. Surprisingly good.
Sticking with that theme just for a second, he's done a couple that were, I guess, they're not called indie films anymore. They're called independent.
What do you think indie means?
I know, but that's what they call it.
Okay.
I think. I don't know. I'm trying to be fancy. Anyway, like what was it called? Knowing.
Knowing. God, that movie sucked.
It wasn't bad though.
Oh, it was. It was all bad.
That wasn't one of the worst movies he's ever did. Like Lord of War was good.
Oh yeah, Lord. Yeah, I'll give you that one.
That was good. Really good. And I really liked him in Matchstick Men too. Have you seen that?
I have. Yeah, it was with him and Sam Rockwell, I think.
Yes. But I liked it because he wasn't true to life character, but he played somebody who could be sitting next to you.
I think both of those came out before National Treasure, if I'm not mistaken.
I don't know, but I know they were small budget.
Mm.
So there's my rant. All right, so that's 3. And I believe you're up.
Mm.
The sound is being weird again, but are you pointing at me?
I believe it is your go.
Okay.
And these are getting increasingly difficult too.
These are what?
They're getting increasingly difficult too to try to pick things out.
Well, it just depends on what are you looking for when choosing it. Good, bad, there's so many of both, so.
So many guilty pleasures. I am going to pick Spider-Man, like the first one. There's a lot of great memories with that one too. So many iconic things.
Mm-hmm.
Uncle Ben. Oh, right. Bruce Campbell as the wrestling dude.
Yep.
And that whole scene. So I got you for 3 minutes. He's like spidering everywhere.
Oh yeah. Macho Man.
Bonesaw is ready.
Yeah.
Oh man. But it fit.
And it's actually filmed in New York. There's parts that were filmed in Forest Hills in Queens, like where he's from and where I lived for most of my life. So for me, that's also a little extra. Like, oh, it's home.
No, that's awesome. I think the best we've got for us is they filmed What About Bob pretty close to us.
That's not true. Not for me. I wasn't born here.
Well, fine. It was made close to me.
What's that one?
What About Bob? Old 80s Richard Dreyfuss, Bill Murray comedy. Bill Murray's being seen, he's a psychiatric patient of Richard Dreyfuss, and he takes his family, and Bill Murray follows him and tries to incorporate himself into the family.
Shenanigans.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't seen it, I will use your line. I highly recommend it.
It's a good one.
But
Okay.
sticking with the theme of just really quick of
Mhm.
movies, good, like well-known movies that were filmed where you live or
Mhm.
where you were born, right?
Mhm.
The Fugitive
Mhm.
with Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
The hospital that he worked at, I was born in that hospital.
Awesome.
Every time I see it, I'm like, I don't remember that.
Well, that's like What About Bob? The office scene in the beginning. It was filmed at the Reserve Center my dad worked at. Yeah.
Where is that?
Roanoke, Virginia, where we're at. Well, where I'm from, where he's not from, apparently. But yeah, so they filmed that the office scenes there, and the vacation scenes at the lake was filmed at Smith Mountain Lake, which is 15, 20 miles from where we're at now, give or take.
Oh,
Is it that close?
Depends on what part.
Well, I know it stretches across, what,
Mhm.
5 counties?
Yep.
So, but we're getting off topic.
Yep, way off topic. You were supposed to keep me focused.
Focused. Where, I don't even know where we were.
I think it was, well, she was talking about, Spider-Man being filmed
Yes.
where like she grew up, which is awesome.
Oh, that's one place I'd like to visit.
Queen.
That's so off track,
Mhm.
but I'd like to, I mean, it would be cool.
Talking about New York?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was there for a day. I didn't get to see much. Got to see Statue of Liberty,
I
which
just
was
want
awesome.
to go to Cat's Deli. Just say, you hear so much about it. It's just kind of like, it's iconic. You know, it's been on several different shows.
Mhm.
That's way off topic, but
Well, it's like I went and saw Statue of Liberty there, and absolutely gorgeous. But she's not nearly as big as you would think she is.
no. 7 feet tall?
Oh,
Okay, so
how's that might go now?
What was that?
I'm trying to think of what my next one's going to be. I'm trying to see if I see anything that pops into focus.
are you getting ready to say Harry Potter?
No, I'm going superheroes. All right, okay. All right, okay. All right, okay. Okay, all right. I'm actually conflicted between two. And we've talked about these two before.
Oh, no.
And two I remember watching growing up as a kid, absolutely loved. And I'm going to go with both because, it was just one of those that I think they came out years apart, but, as a kid, it was together. And that's Blank Man and Meteor Man.
What?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I mean, I grew up watching those movies. I mean, I love the Wayne, Damon Wayans because I grew up with them Living Color. And, so you got David Allen Greer as well. And the two of them together are absolutely amazing. And like Meteor Man, you've got the scene that, like, looking back on it, it's like, just the look of the graphic nature of the meteor hitting him and him absorbing it. It's like, yeah, I could see where that might scare a kid for that, but the rest of the movie, not. And I rewatched it a couple years ago, and it's been a while for that. And you got like young Don Cheadle
Yeah.
in it, which I did not know
Oh, wow.
who he was when I was a kid. But yeah, those two movies is just one of those, the suit, the cape. I mean, it's like the color scheme is like gray and green, so you wouldn't really think of that as like iconic costume, but it worked for the movie really well. But his just growing up with that, and Blank Man just being, Damon Wayans being Damon Wayans. Just, to this day, they're still two of my favorite superhero movies of all time.
Aw.
Okay. I got you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll see you corny movies and throw you another one.
Okay.
Steel.
No,
Shaquille
yes.
O'Neal.
Yes.
I actually like that movie quite a bit.
Oh, I love watching it too. It's a crap movie.
I haven't seen that one. But
Oh,
it does
you,
look
you need to watch.
It's on HBO Max.
Is it really?
It is.
Oh, I'm going home watching it.
Mm-hmm. It's a
Is
crap
that
movie,
technically
but
DC?
yeah, it's based on the Steel character from the comics loosely.
John Henry
Okay.
Irons.
Yes, and he did have to do with like making weapons and stuff like that, and with this movie it's kind of the same, except it's work military wise stuff like that, and they obviously are gang leaders bringing him into his neighborhood, and he's like, no, not my neighborhood, so he builds, makes the steel suit. So yeah, it's a crap movie, but it's so much fun to watch.
Nobody
I have a
hurts
soft
my
spot for
friends.
Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah, because he is not a good actor at all. Well, when he's
Man.
trying in his comedy, like when he shows up in the Adam Sandler movies, he's absolutely hilarious.
Yes.
But when he's trying to do like serious type stuff, not so much. Personal opinion. Yeah.
So adorable.
Mm-hmm. Except when he rapped in Kazam. Not so much.
Except when what?
He rapped in Kazam. Have you never seen Kazam?
No.
I have to add that to the list.
I remember watching a stand-up. It was Chris D'Elia, and he was talking about himself watching Kazam and how he was embarrassed that he was crying.
It's got some touching moments.
Yeah?
From what I remember, it's been a while. I have it right over there. Somewhere. Don't get me wrong. It's where in any movie I remember watching in the 90s. Yeah, because that's when I grew up. Is I will always recommend Suburban Commando with Hulk Hogan. Horrible movie, but it's so much fun. Of course, it's Christopher Lloyd too, so you can't really go wrong with at least enjoying that aspect. Yeah. Yeah, he's like a space cop or something like that, and he's hiding or chasing down or got crash landed on Earth. Meets up with Christopher Lloyd and his family, and he's got to try to get back out to stop this evil space dictator. And it's you should watch it. It's worth a watch. You may
Okay.
you may hate me for it if you actually end up doing it, but
No, I have a group of friends, and we watch like bad movies together.
Oh, I could give you a huge list of things I should go through.
Yeah.
Take a picture of my movie shelf and be like, okay, pick from any of them.
Okay. It's like no, it's a different kind of fun.
Mm-hmm. Or The Room. Watch The Room. Tommy Wiseau.
I really want to, and then I really wanted to watch Disaster Artist,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, I will wait because I should watch The Room first.
Yep.
But my patience got the better of me that time, so I saw The Disaster Artist,
That's fair.
but not The Room.
Yeah, I ended up
It's on the list though.
yes. I ended up reading the book for Disaster Artist. Because when I heard the Disaster Artist was coming out, and I'd heard of The Room, but I'm like, well, let me read the book, and then I'll watch The Room, and then Disaster Artist come out, I'll watch it. And the book, it's hard to think about all the stuff that happened, because the stuff they show in the movie is still not even everything that was in the book. of the crazy stuff he did. Yeah. And actually
What a ridiculous person.
I met Greg Sestero, who was Mark in that. They did a screening of The Room at an Alamo Draft House about 2 hours away from here. So I went and got him to sign my copy of The Room, and he was in I think the 6th or 7th Puppet Master movie. So I got him to sign that too, and got a copy of the original script.
Oh, cool!
It was all he was awesome.
That's awesome.
But yeah, should definitely make The Room part of the bad movie night. You will regret it and love it at the same time.
Okay. Not to be like whatever, but my husband worked on Bly Manor, and
nice.
It wasn't until it had like already aired on Netflix, and he had already worked with him, and he was like, that guy looks like Greg. And I haven't seen The Room, so I was like, I don't know. Like, I guess.
Yep, that was him.
But yeah, and like looked at the credits, and sure enough, he was like, I can't believe I worked next to this guy for however long, and I never said anything to him, and I didn't recognize him. Missed opportunity.
Oh yeah.
Just like, what are the odds?
Yeah, no, that's that's one of those I've forgotten. It took me a little bit to realize that was him when I was watching it. I mean,
yeah,
he looks
it's not
the
like
same
he
but different.
Different or anything, but whatever they did for his character made him look really different.
Mm-hmm.
I like it. All right, so is that me or was that?
I don't know. We got so off topic, I lost track.
Yeah. Oh no, off topic's good though.
Yeah.
Oh, I think it's your turn because Steel, I think, was the last one mentioned.
Oh, that was yours.
That was me.
So we're back to you now.
Oh.
Is this the last one?
It could be, or we could keep going if we're having fun.
Oh, either way, yeah. I just can't remember what we said, and
I like it. Whatever. I'm flexible.
Gotta think of more.
Sorry, which one?
I was trying to figure out. I can't lost count of how many we've gone through.
Yeah, me either.
I think it's 4, and we're going on 5 right now. But I just went so.
Mm-hmm. I know.
Mine was Steel.
I can't believe his costume is also made out of steel.
But
it's a special steel.
It's special steel.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm such a big X-Men fan that I keep circling back to one of them. How about First Class then?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was.
I thought that was really cool to actually see like the origins and see them in the 60s.
Mm-hmm.
The Sebastian Shaw quarter moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty gross
and
cool.
Yep. Like you want to look away, but you can't.
Yeah, and he's just like, Wasn't he frozen? Like, he can still feel it happening, but he just couldn't do anything because Professor X had, like, paralyzed him?
Yeah,
or
he had like
something?
stopped, did whatever he did to stop time, or maybe it was just the movement. I can't remember, but yeah. So he would feel
Yeah.
everything without him being able to scream or react in any way to it, which I thought was awesome.
Not that he didn't deserve it,
Oh,
but
no.
it's still hard to watch.
Right. It's like you feel a little bad and then you remember what he did and it's like, I don't really feel bad anymore.
Yeah. It was really cool how they connected that, like, the scene and the character back towards the intro of the original.
Mhm.
With the scene at the concentration camp and the gates bending and all that.
Oh,
like, that's
right.
so
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it was kind of like a full circle type.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm glad that they expanded on that.
Yes.
I was kind of bummed out by Emma Frost.
Yeah. A little underwhelming.
Yeah.
I was so excited to finally see her on screen, and then she was just kind of there.
Yeah.
Well, what about like the origins of Beast? Because that happened within
Of
that
Beast.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because, like, he starts off as just this big dude with big hands and feet.
And then wasn't that the beginning of his friendship with Raven,
Mhm.
which would end up being Mystique?
Mhm.
I liked her as that character, though. I liked, oh God, what's her name?
Jennifer Lawrence.
That's the one.
Mhm.
I liked her in that. I don't think she liked doing the first one, though, because
Yeah, they hadn't streamlined, I think, the body paint aspect until like might have been the second one.
It might have been different in every movie, too.
I think so.
Like, by the third one, it was very little makeup, and she was just wearing, like, a fabric bodysuit. You could tell.
Mhm.
I was like, Mystique's one of my favorite villains. So I was kind of like 50-50 on that. I'm like, I'm cool that they're also expanding on her character, but the nerd in me is like, this isn't what happened.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, it's hard to, like, I try not to, like, be, like, a purist when it comes to a lot of that stuff. Because, I mean, I get some things have got to change, or you got different interpretations of certain things for it. But then you got, and this is mainly kind of going back to the whole Dark Phoenix aspect of it. Then you got times where it's like, what are you thinking about? And the purist comes out and it's like, no, if you've already screwed up so bad. So bad. That's why I couldn't keep up with The Walking Dead, is for that reason. Is just, you know, I'm fine with some storyline changes, but when you're changing character personalities that change everything, it's like, no, I'm done. Can't do it.
Oh, you read the comic first?
Yes. Yeah. The comic I love, actually. I've been kind of going back through, you know, with the third season of The Boys. I went back and reread that series, and now, and I said, it's not a great adaptation of the comic either, but it still kind of has the feel of the comic, whereas Walking Dead, not so much. At least not what I watched up to. But now I'm going back through Invincible, and they did the animated series for that, which was, again, they changed a couple things. Some things are out of order, but I mean, it was still a good series, and the animation's amazing, as is the voice acting. But so I'm going back through that comic now.
I really like it. Cool. I haven't read the comic. I didn't know it was based on one. I just saw like an animated superhero show, and I was like, okay, I'm in.
Yeah, the comic's really good. It's funny because it's written by the same guy that did Walking Dead, Robert Kirkman.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. And So, I mean, and that's just Image Comics in general. That's one of those that's not Marvel, it's not DC. They're completely separate from it. Todd McFarlane is one of those that helped create it after his run on Spider-Man. And it's been going strong since then. And they've got some amazing comics out of some weird stuff, but some absolutely amazing stuff too.
All right.
All right.
Mm-hmm. Does my go?
Last one, yeah.
Oh, last one.
Think long and hard.
Does it have to be a movie or it can be a TV show?
Oh, it's anything superhero related, remember?
Okay. All right.
There is no limit.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go with the 90s Flash series.
Oh.
I'm sure I've seen that, but I don't.
It came out in 1990. I was like 4, but I still remember watching it.
You're making me feel old. Stop.
And, but I mean, I've got it. It's right there. John Wesley Shipp.
What did it air on?
CBS, I believe, and it only lasted a season, unfortunately. But I mean, it's John Wesley Shipp. The costume, as far as about as comic accurate as you could get, without the yellow boots, unfortunately. I mean, obviously, Flash. I mean, he is my favorite of the DC characters.
Now, I do know that the original Flash from the show you're talking about,
he plays,
was in the CW Flash.
Yes, yeah, he played Barry's dad and Jay Garrick, and which was amazing to see him come back in, for that, kind of a passing of the torch type thing. And which is great. And then in one of the crossovers a couple of years ago, you actually got to see him as the 90s Flash, like a kind of a thing for it there.
Oh, did that for Crisis, I think,
yes.
right?
Yeah. And
Kevin Conroy.
Oh, yes. Seeing him as a live action Bruce Wayne was amazing. Yes.
Like, bucket list.
Where do they air these things? Because I know the Crisis on Earth event was was over 4-show crossover.
I think this one was 5 or 6.
Was it?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, as far as over different shows.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, yeah. It might have been. Honestly,
because I know it crossed from Flash to Green Arrow,
Supergirl,
Legends.
Was it?
I don't think Crisis was Legends this time. Yeah.
Oh no, they had a Black Lightning in the episode, but I
think that show. No. I think Black Lightning led into it.
Yeah.
Like their episode led into when they're coming from. Yeah.
But where can I find this? Because
all the shows are on. Oh yeah, Batwoman. That's it. Yes.
I remember so many people were like pissed because we're like, oh, we have to sit through an episode of Batwoman.
It's funny as far as Batwoman goes. Like the first season was okay, but the second season, because it's like nothing against Ruby Rose, but she was okay. But the actress that plays her in the second season as Batwoman, and I cannot for the life of me remember her name. She's phenomenal, and I'm sad that it got canceled because it was actually getting like really, really good with her as Batwoman. Although I haven't watched the third season yet, just because again, this is just too many shows to watch and keep up on. I'm slowly making my way around. But yeah, that's right. Batwoman was the other one. You'd have to go to Netflix and HBO Max to find out which episode happens when and watch them that way.
Nice.
Yeah.
So for me, mine is a CW series. And you have not finished watching even the first season.
Again, too many shows.
Superman and Lois. I love that so much.
Yeah, first season's been amazing that I've watched.
The stories are great. It's Superman and Lois.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet, but my husband actually works on it.
Oh, awesome.
Really?
I'll have to tell him that it came up.
I love it.
Oh, yeah.
I love that show so much.
Yep.
I love the way that they did not to give any spoilers away because you'll have to watch it and see. I love how they did John Henry because Steele's in it. I love that. I love how they did. Oh God, I can't remember one of his son's name. It's not John.
Jonathan and Jordan.
Jordan. Yeah. I mean, the way the show is put together is just it's awesome. And the first season was great. The second season, I'm telling you, is ridiculously better.
Yeah. I know. I keep seeing clips, and I really want to watch it. But again, I got to catch up on so many other things.
I mean,
I'll get to it eventually.
We've talked about it, but I love it. And what not to get off topic, but what does he do on the show?
On the first season, he was a second camera assistant. So that's like the person that slates, and like swaps out lenses and like general camera assistant things. And then in the second season with COVID, things got moved around a bit, and he had a different job called DUT, which is, I think, digital utility technician. And that's totally different, where he said he was like plugging in monitors. So like that way each department can see what was happening on set. So he's like, oh, it's a lot more chill. I kind of want to show you some of our stuff now. We've gotten a good amount of goodies from the show. And it's like, I can't watch it here because whatever the way that the CW works out here, or like the way that things are licensed, it's like some things air on Netflix, but Superman and Lois isn't one of those. Like it might be on HBO Max or something like that.
Yeah, a lot of the newer ones that have come out in the last year or two are on HBO Max. I guess whenever that went through, the rights went with them than it did with Netflix.
I've been watching it on CW. The CW app.
Yeah.
I had to ask.
At some point, I want to get into it because, like, partly knowing that he works on it, so I'm like, that's cool. But I've heard so many good things about it from other nerdy friends.
What I have seen has been absolutely amazing, and like Tyler Hoechlin is absolutely incredible as Clark Kent and Superman.
Is that who that is?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he was in Teen Wolf.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The show?
Yep.
Never seen it.
It's not bad. I got a movie coming out later this year.
Supernatural things.
Yeah.
So I will watch that one.
I mean, it's one of those. It's meant for like a. I mean, like the Supernatural TV show. A lot of the CW shows, as far as the type of show, like high school drama and first loves and stuff like that. I mean, that's what Teen Wolf is, just with werewolves and other supernatural creatures and stuff like that. So
yeah, it's different than the movie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Okay, because when I hear Teen Wolf, I think Michael J. Fox.
Right? No.
Yeah, or Jason Bateman.
Mm-hmm. Teen Wolf 2.
Yeah. No thanks.
Which was just Teen Wolf with boxing.
But with keeping with the theme with shows, I have to ask, because I know you've been keeping up with it as probably as well as I have.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk a little bit about Miss Marvel.
Oh, you mean I've watched the first episode and have gotten so far behind, I'm just going to wait till the show ends and then binge it?
Oh, you're not caught up?
No.
Okay, we'll skip
Which
that
one?
then. Miss Marvel.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so if you haven't seen anything beyond the first...
No, I've watched the first episode, and then again, like, Stranger Things came out, and Obi-Wan was finishing up, and I'd already started it. and just so many other things that I'm trying to finish. And as they ended, so now I think there's only like 1 or 2 episodes of Miss Marvel left. I think I'm just going to wait till it finishes and just binge the whole season.
So let's bypass that. Let's bypass that. Okay, DC. Okay.
Yes.
CW. And God, I do not know why they keep delaying the show, but Stargirl.
Stargirl's been amazing.
They're
I
working
haven't
on.
seen that either.
Oh, it's good.
Yeah. First 2 seasons are on HBO Max. 3rd season starts this fall
In August.
I think so.
It got moved a couple of times because it was supposed to be like midsummer, like around this time, and then it got moved.
Yeah, but I think they're going to push it to, cause some of the other shows aren't coming back for new season. They've ended, so I think it's going into one of the other slots, but it's definitely, it's one of those really good ones.
What's it like?
And it's very comic book-esque.
Yes. It's, like the Justice Society, but like, they existed and then something happened and then, you go years, to like present day kind of thing. And you've got, kind of a younger version of the Justice Society. There's more to it, but getting into it could be spoilers kind of thing. But, just,
okay.
High school kids basically take up the mantle of the Justice Society and them trying to, save the world while not failing classes.
Okay.
But
are they all related to the previous Justice Society?
No.
I mean, I think there's one.
Oh yes,
they're one of them definitely, but they there's not necessarily like relation to them, but they find some form of connection to what their predecessor was that relates with them that makes them a good,
to be able
replacement
to use the powers.
Yes, right.
So, yeah. I just had to ask because I know you're kind of caught up on that one.
That one I did get caught up on.
But what about?
But I waited till the season was over and just binged the whole season.
Because I didn't watch a whole lot of the CW stuff because some of it I just didn't really care for.
Well, Arrow and Flash I watched since the beginning, although I need to finish this season. But
diving into some of the Marvel stuff, starting with the very first show, which was what was the very first show on
WandaVision, wasn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did like the way they did that.
Oh yeah.
Because it was a play on what was to come that we didn't know was coming.
Yeah.
And the fact that they brought Vision back. And then the introduction of White Vision, which
was the more comic accurate of the original Vision from the comics.
But he has a different name, and I cannot think of what it is.
It was just cool seeing that version.
But it's weird. The thing that I didn't understand getting into the end of that was how did he, if he was just a thing that she created with her powers wasn't physically there, how did he change the consciousness of the other Vision?
Well, she made him real within the confines of that town.
Yeah, the hex.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
it was still him. It just wasn't actually him.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
then,
like a version.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just found it kind of weird because, I mean, I didn't think of it that way. But now that I think of it that way, it makes sense. But the other thing, too, that I liked about that is the introduction of Monica Rambeau.
Mm-hmm.
All grown up.
Mm-hmm.
Just because Captain Marvel was taking place in the 80s, wasn't it?
90s.
90s? Was it 90s?
Mm-hmm.
I guess it was.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Oh, you're talking about can't remember her name right now. But her mom is Maria.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That was really cool to see. Also, like her waking up in the hospital, or like not waking up when she like came back
was it
from
the
being
blip? Which I
blipped.
don't know why they called it that, but to each their own, I guess.
I'm not crazy about blip either. I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
yes,
I
you
mean, you didn't ask me, but I guess it's fine. I mean, whatever.
are.
Blip. It's like a sandwich shop name.
Yeah, there's something about it that's just like kind of off.
Mm-hmm.
So
That's one thing that I like that they've expanded on in the shows is coming back and what that is like for those characters.
Yep. Yeah, because they did that in Hawkeye with oh my god, what was it?
Elena.
Yes, thank you. Which was really cool
That
to
scene
see.
was really cool too.
Mm-hmm.
So jarring.
Yes.
So, and I find it hard to remember the order of how they came out. Was it Hawkeye that was next?
No. It was Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And if I remember correctly, I don't think you particularly cared for that one.
Oh no, I absolutely loved it.
Did you?
Which yeah. One? Moon Knight was the one I thought was okay.
Yeah. So what'd you like about that one?
Falcon and Winter Soldier?
Yeah.
I mean, just the two of them together are amazing. And then, of course, at the end, you've got the absolute amazingly comic accurate, Falcon Captain America suit, which was like, oh my God, it was amazing.
Yeah, it's a cool suit.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I think that's
John
probably
Walker.
Yeah, it was great seeing like U.S. Agent. I guess he becomes U.S. Agent, but
yeah,
it was cool seeing all that. I mean, it was just, I don't know, it was just really good.
Yeah,
and the idea of like what is Captain America, and just because he kind of looks like him, it doesn't mean that he's necessarily the best choice.
Yep. Well, and I saw this thing where it showed, like every time he introduced himself, it was always, I'm Captain America. But when Steve Rogers did it, it was always, I'm, Steve Rogers. It was never Captain America. It was always, I'm Steve. And whereas him is like, Captain America was like his entire personality for that. And then whereas Steve, he was still the man, not the icon. And that's what made, put them, apart.
Well, I like the fact that with Steve Rogers, he knew that Captain America wasn't a person. Captain America was an idea, so to speak.
Yeah, he was a symbol for the people. He wasn't actually him.
Right. Yeah. And then with John Walker, it was totally different. He had that complex, where he was going to be it, and he was going to be better than the original, which it doesn't work that way. That's like replacing Robert Downey Jr. with Tom Cruise as Iron Man. Come on.
Well, I mean, I think when there was talks of that, it was just going to be an alternate universe thing for it. But
I'm so happy it didn't happen.
I think it'd have been cool to see personally.
Even though he, most people don't know he was the first choice for Iron Man.
Oh yeah.
But there's nobody
better.
What
would be cool to see? Sometimes it drops.
Oh, you're fine. Yeah, we were just talking about Tom Cruise being the number one pick for Iron Man over Robert Downey Jr. That was before Jon Favreau actually fought for him to be in that movie. Most people don't know that.
Supposedly they tried getting him for Multiverse, but weren't able to.
Yeah, that would have been pretty cool.
So so it was WandaVision, Falcon, and the Winter Soldier, and then was it It wasn't Hawkeye after that,
No,
was
I
it?
think What If came after that.
I think it was, yeah, either Loki or What If. Because it was like in the summertime, I remember.
I think
It might have
Loki
been.
may have been first. I don't know. Yeah, you're right though. It was either whichever was Loki and What If were the next two. But I can't remember the order.
So I adored the Loki movie, the Loki series.
Oh yeah, it was great.
I loved it. Owen Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
I loved it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
We kept waiting for a while.
Yep. Not once. Damn it.
Not to get off topic really quickly, but there is a thing going around on it's either on Facebook, Instagram, I don't remember, but it's of a turtle going wow.
Aw.
And when he does it, it goes back and forth to Owen Wilson's face and him doing it. It's perfect.
Aw.
But I liked it a lot. I liked the way it was done. And I liked how they introduced. I'm waiting for you to pick this up because I don't remember the name of the place or the people.
The Tribunal?
Kang?
You're talking about the actual.
Like where they went.
Oh,
The group he was a part of.
Oh, the Time Variance Authority or something?
Yes.
that sounds
what is
right.
it?
TVA.
TVA.
Yeah. I just couldn't remember the name of it. But yeah. That was good. And then the only thing
Oh
I
my gosh,
didn't.
and Miss Minutes.
Yeah. The only thing I didn't like about What If was the zombies.
What you talking about? That was an amazing episode.
But I never read the comics.
But
so-
this wasn't have nothing to do with the comics. Those weren't the zombies in the comics.
But I liked that they did, is it Captain Britain? No, it's not Captain Britain. Captain Carter.
Yeah, Captain Carter. Yeah.
And then how they did the reversal for Iron Man.
Mhm.
If he'd never gotten captured. And then what was the other one? There was
The Ant-Man episode was so good.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like that
Very
too.
dark.
But what about the Killmonger?
Oh yeah, Killmonger. Yeah.
Yeah. What? There was another one, wasn't there?
You had the Doctor Strange episode.
There was that.
Doctor Strange.
The Thor one was good too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Party Thor.
Yeah. The God of Thunder. But that was my take on those. What do you think?
Well, I used to read the old What If series, growing up. I mean, it was, and it was essentially the same thing. Just the show was focused on the MCU stories, not so much the comic book stories. So, I mean, it was great seeing just the different variations of what, could have been,
Yeah.
And then the team up of all the, variations of it in the end was awesome. Well, and then, you got Jeffrey Wright as the Watcher, which, the perfect voice for the Watcher.
I forgot about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he ends up Doctor Strange ends up being able to see him because he turned into, was it Superior? No,
he just had all the dark magic that he had done. See through the alternate realities.
Yeah.
Or was it Ultron?
Oh yeah, it was Ultron.
Was Ultron?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Oh
Because
yeah,
he
Ultron
had
with
the
the Infinity
stones.
Stones.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
What was next after that? I'm drawing a blank. Was it Hawkeye?
I loved What If because there weren't any limits.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
With the MCU, there's only certain characters they can use,
Mhm.
and aging and real world things, but with animation, just draw anything you want.
Yep.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I've heard rumors the second season is actually supposed to come out this month. as a it's got to be some kind of stealth release, because I heard that is a rumor for that. And I don't know if there's any truth to that. It would be amazing to wake up one day and hear that it's out. It's like, all right, second season, starting to watch right now. But I don't know for sure. Take that with a grain of salt, because or sand, or whatever the saying is.
The Black Panther one was good.
Oh, I forgot about when he's
Thanos was their friend.
Yeah, because he talked him into.
Yeah, like they're all just buddies now.
That was brilliant. I honestly, I mean, I don't know how I forgot about that episode, but I think that was Chadwick Boseman's last performance before he passed.
I think so,
or at least last released.
Definitely one of the episodes for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Marvel said that was his last performance.
Yeah, that one was amazing.
And I can't remember her name right now. But the cyborg, and she has like a totally different personality. Nebula.
Oh yeah.
And she has like the blonde hair and stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, it's really cool to see all the different versions and.
Yep. Yeah, that was a good thing about the What If series. So I am curious what they're going to do for the second season. Because, I mean, there haven't been too many movies that have come out since then. I mean, I guess they could do TV shows, but, I mean, they pretty much had...
I heard that there was one episode that had to be moved from season 1 to 2. So 1 is going to be, like, recycled.
Okay.
And that one was the one with Gamora. Because there's like, I don't know if you've seen some of the marketing images, and she has Thanos' really big sword.
Interesting.
And like, she appears in the finale, but never had her own episode. But everyone else had their own episode.
That's right.
So that's supposed to be one of them.
Oh man, yeah, that'll be good. Yeah, I love the What If series. I thought it was amazing.
Yeah.
What came after that?
I want to say Hawkeye was after that.
I'm going to continue to ask that because I can't remember.
I think it was.
I think so.
And if I remember correctly, that was our first podcast episode. Well, one of the first.
It was one of them.
It was so
It was
bad.
what?
It was one of the first podcast episodes that he and I did together. Was talking about the Hawkeye series.
And it was so bad.
I mean, it was, it was bad.
It's a good memory.
But I liked it. I thought
Hawkeye I thought was great.
I thought it was more, I guess, true to life as far as things that could actually happen. Because it's not like he has a superpower. He just he can't miss.
Mm-hmm.
I guess is the proper thing.
Yeah, there was always talks in the comics that he was actually a mutant for him not being able to miss.
Yeah, like him and Natasha.
Yeah. And I don't know that was ever, I think that was just always kind of a fan theory, or maybe, like a fan theory within the pages or whatnot, but I don't think it was ever said one way or another whether he was.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
I think it's just a thing that we use to rationalize his existence.
It's like we know not to, argue with movie logic or comic logic, yet we do it anyway. Gives us something to do, I guess.
It does.
I kind of wish that they would just be like, yeah, this is the reason why he hasn't died yet.
Mm-hmm.
Something different about him.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked the dynamic with him and Kate.
Yes.
It reminded me a lot of Spider-Man. Like her character as in general, just like in the really enthusiastic kid who's still learning the ropes.
Mm-hmm.
100%. Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
Definitely.
And the girl they got to
The
play
Russian
Kate
guy.
Bishop was great too.
Haley Steinfeld. Steinfield. I never can pronounce her last
Yeah.
name.
And that was like right around the time that Arcane came out. So it was like really trippy to be watching both of them at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
She plays Vi in that one.
Trying to. I've seen that. Don't think I have.
It's on Netflix.
I'll have to take a look at that. I'd say I'm always looking for something new to watch, but yeah, it's one of those just add it to the list. I'll get around to it eventually.
There's a lot.
Way too much. What a time to be alive.
Yeah.
And then, so there was Hawkeye, then that, or, yeah, forgive me, Hawkeye. Then we had a little bit of a hiatus, and it
Well,
was,
then you had some Star Wars shows come out,
yeah,
but I can't remember what the next Marvel. Something came out before Moon Knight.
did it?
Maybe.
I mean, I could probably tell you. I got Disney right in front of me. I don't know. Let's see, I'll look real quick because I can't remember either. Here. All right. Yeah, so it was WandaVision, Falcon and Winter Soldier, Loki, What If, Hawkeye.
Oh, and then Moon Knight was the next one. Okay.
Was the next, yeah.
That was a lot of time.
Oh, yeah. Right, Moon Knight.
Yeah, which...
I didn't think it was horrible, but I didn't think it could have been better.
It wasn't a great adaptation of the character.
Could have been better.
And he was one of the ones I really liked growing up. I mean, it's one of those, like, don't get me wrong, you know, the casting was great, the story was great. It was just like the character was, the costume was amazing.
Yeah.
I love the way he transformed into the costume. And then the variant where he was
Mr.
the other
Knight.
personality.
Yeah, with the suit.
Mm-hmm.
I love that part. He's just like thinking about a suit.
It's like, suit up.
What do you mean? I'm gonna suit right now.
I mean, it may not have been done to what you were, you know.
But I mean, I said this is when I try not to be a purist, but when it's like one of my favorite characters, it's kind of hard not to be.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, I still watch it, still enjoyed it. We'll probably rewatch it, but
It was nice seeing another country outside of the U.S., like them going to Egypt.
Yep.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, I mean, the country that, I guess where it should take place in, honestly, given, all the talks of the Egyptian gods and all that stuff. Plus, just the scenery was amazing.
Oh man, that's when he wakes up there. That was just really cool.
Mm-hmm. It's one of the places I want to visit.
Egypt.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, I mean, it was different, but I like that they're doing different things because it got a little samey for a while there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was almost always New York most of the time. For the other Marvel shows, yeah. Which, don't be wrong, there's nothing wrong with that.
In the comics too.
But it is like
lives in New York.
Yep. So I get all these artists together. It's like, what can you draw? Well, we can draw New York. Perfect. That's where we're putting everything.
Yeah, it's like, how are you not tripping all over yourself? Except for Daredevil, because he's in this one
Small
specific
little,
area.
Yep. Of course, even then he's got some of the other smaller characters. I mean, not just from the Marvel, like the MCU, but I mean some of the comics. I mean, you got like, I guess like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage. Even in the comics, they weren't really held. There wasn't a whole lot. I guess Daredevil really was the only one for Hell's Kitchen, even in the comics.
I didn't read either of those, but I'm pretty sure Luke is supposed to be from Harlem.
Mm-hmm. I think Jessica Jones goes there as well. Well, because mainly because I think they have, I think the two of them, they have a kid together.
What was the last part?
I think Luke Cage and Jessica Jones, I think they have a kid together in the comics. So I guess she would be in the same area that way. It seems like there was someone else in Hell's Kitchen, but I think it was her. I don't know. I'm actually so far behind in the comics, it's not even funny. Because even when I was keeping up buying them, I was not keeping up reading them.
So
yeah, they got so expensive.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, now that we're done with all the Marvel series, just because you haven't seen.
No, I haven't watched Miss Marvel yet. Like I said, the last episode's either this week or next week, and I'll binge it once it's probably right before the last episode.
Yes. Agreed. So kind of want to end the episode with talking about anything you have coming up, where people can find you. I know we did that with the podcast, but this is a little bit different. So where can people find you and kind of touch on the projects we talked about that you're working on?
I usually put my stuff up on Instagram. I like it. And sorry, the Star Wars series that I'm working on is called Bucketheads, and that's on YouTube.
And I was telling you about that the other day at work.
Yeah, that name actually sounds familiar.
Ooh.
So, definitely. I mean, I want to thank you again for doing this with us. I know, I had a lot of fun last time we talked, so I definitely wanted to do it again. So I'm glad we got to do it again and actually go into depth on some of the comic book lore, so to speak, and things that we liked, didn't like.
This show is part of the Redline Media Group Productions family.